What's up, everybody? This is Kim B coming at you again with another video. So, today we're going to dive a little bit more into self-care. So, in the last few videos, really basically everything that I'm already doing it evolves around self-care, whether if it's taking care of my skin or different things that I'm doing on a daily basis. I just kind of wanted to dive back into self-care. And before we do that, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, to make sure that you get all the updates on the latest videos to come. Now, and also make sure you hit the like button as well and hit that ring bell so that you get the notification when those videos are uploaded. So, with that being said, we're going to dive right into it. So I just kind of wanted to jump on and talk to you a little bit about what it is that I'm doing or what I've been doing. So I've been trying to focus on my self-care. As you can see, I'm still struggling with this menopause, but it's okay. It's gotten a lot better than where it was. But I still struggle with it. I did finally decide that I was gonna break down and go to the doctor and get some blood work done, just so I can have an idea of what's really going on with my body, because we all should be doing that. Whether if we are going the holistic route, I just want to know what's going on with me, plus the fact that my grandmother, she had ovarian cancer, and I had an aunt that had breast cancer, and I think those are significant reasons, more than enough, to want to make sure that you're okay. Everything's working fine, everything's going well, and if it isn't, what do I need to do to get these things in order so that I can be the best me that I can be? Because I will tell you this, honestly, it has definitely been very trying for me. Some days are just way harder than others. The lack of motivation has been playing a significant part in my life. So I've been looking at a few different things to try to figure out what the heck is going on with me. Why do I feel so blah? I don't know if you guys experience any of that or not, but there are days where you just don't want to do nothing. You don't want to cook. You don't want to talk to nobody. You don't want to get on social media. You don't want to do anything but just lay there in bed and watch TV. And that's kind of I have a lot of those days that I go through that, and I can't figure out why I'm not motivated or where this is all coming from. I just don't want to be bothered. I'm hot all the time. So yeah, so half the time I'm trying to stay cool, but I do know that I don't like where I'm at. With all of this, the experiences that I've been experiencing, it can go anywhere from migraines to extreme exhaustion. Like I said, during the day, since I started taking that Estrevol, by the way, you can get that at the wellness store too. But yeah, with the Estrevol, it definitely has begun to slow things down. I think the major part of it is at night and the night sweats. Oh my goodness. I wake up and I feel like somebody just threw a bucket of water on me. It gets that real. And by the time you're ready to get up the next day, today, I just didn't have any energy at work, none whatsoever. So yeah, it's been a bit of a rough day. But like I said, it's gotten a lot better. And every day is not always like that since I've been taking it. But when I do have those times, you don't know when it's going to happen. You have no idea. You don't know when one moment from the next is. So with that being said, I'm still taking it. I'm gonna try a few different things to try to see if I can figure out a workaround. Maybe take the Estrevol at night to see if that will help better through, and then throughout the day, because I've had taken some other products and I never took them at night, and you're supposed to, but it just seemed like those particular ones wasn't working. So I'm gonna try to switch it up and see if it works better that way. So we're gonna jump right into the self-care. So I wanted to jump on and just kind of let you guys know what I am working on with my self-care journey. And I have decided that I'm going to do the shadow book journal. The reason why I have opted to do this, and I've looked it up and I've heard so many testimonials about this, because I'm just working on me and I want to be the best version of myself. There's been so many things in my life that I felt like I've been held back because I was afraid to say something, or I was afraid to what someone else might say, or I've heard things that people might say or have said. And so it kind of left me in a place where I just keep things bottled inside as much as I can. If I hear one negative thing, I try not to lean in that direction when I'm around certain people. And I don't want to have to do that anymore. I want to be me. I want to be able to say what I want to say, do what I want to do, and not have to feel that I'm being judged. But not only just being judged, but me judging myself. I want to be able to start the healing process of my own personal trauma. And I just thought that this was so important. Some of the things that I read in this book that just kind of touched me, like, wow, I never would have thought of that. And so when I read this, and I was like, I think we're going to talk about this a little bit. Now, I haven't gotten completed through the book. I just started it, but I thought it was rather interesting because the book talks about mind traps. Okay. The first one being anchoring, which is the first thing you judge influences your judgment of all that follows. Okay. The next one is confirmation bias. You favorite things that you confirm your existing beliefs. Okay. And there's quite a few of them here. Reactance. Okay. Reactance is you rather do the opposite of what someone else is trying to make you do. Then there is skunk cost fallacy. Fallacy. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. But that one is you irrationally cling to things that have already cost you something. And I can't tell you, just me reading those 4 little mind traps, I identify with each and every one of those, especially the last one, the skunk cost fallacy. You irrationally cling to things that have already cost you something. And I identified that with relationships. Okay. I haven't had a ton of them, but the ones that I have had, and I ask myself, that's me. Am I clinging on to something that means no good to me? Why am I still holding on to it? And I just recently positioned myself in a place where I had to tell someone else that, we need a break. And I don't mean a little break either. I mean the kind of break that I need to focus on me and where I'm going and what it is that I'm doing. I can no longer give myself to someone that does not appreciate what it is that I have to give and what I have to offer. They take no interest in what I'm doing. I kind of felt like I was holding on because I always kept thinking at some point it would change. They might change. It never happened. It's never going to happen. Well, at least not for me. And I don't want someone to change for me. The change has to be within them. It has to be something that they want to do. Because what I'm doing for me right now, the change that I'm making for me, is for me. It's not for them. It's for me so that I can move forward in my life and be productive the way that I want to be productive. Okay? So those are things that I identified with in the book. And I'm just kind of like, oh my goodness, I can see where this is going already. So, which takes me on further down the page, and they talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect. It is, the more you know, the less confident you are likely to be. The more you know, the less confident you're likely to be. And that's crazy, yo. Like, I remember having conversations with people about their situations or relationships and stuff like that. And in the background, I'm kind of like, like, oh, I kind of got my situation under control and I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have it under control. I kept pushing a lot of things to the back burner. Things that I knew. Those signs that I saw. All those things that are supposed to be red flags to us. I kind of pushed it to the back burner because I felt like, well, that's not me. I know what I'm doing. I know that, I'm not going to let it go that far. Well, fast forward 20 years later, it's been far, far, far gone and far, over. So for me, it was just like, oh my goodness, this is so me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt the connection there with that. And so next there is the backfire effect. So the backfire effect is when your core beliefs are challenged. It can cause you to believe in them more strongly. So I would have to say yes. Usually that happens for me when my defense mechanism goes up. Or someone tries to share some information with me or try to tell me something different. And I'm clinging on to what it is that I know, not really giving what the other person is saying another thought. And then I'm not talking about relationships, I'm just talking about people in general. Someone would say, okay, well, this is what, X, Y, and Z is. And I'm like, oh no, well, I know I understand that, but I'm sorry. I understand that, but there's always a but. And that but is my beliefs. This is what I know. And not to say that person was wrong, but I didn't want to hear that because of what I already knew. You know what I'm saying? So when you know stuff, it's deep. Okay? It gets pretty deep. So moving forward. The next one is declinism. You remember the past better than it was and expect the future to be worse than it will likely be. And to me, that is more of a mental thing. We could say so much and then, to me, kind of like psych yourself out in a sense about the future. Like you dwell so much on the past that you think that there is no hope. Or how is this going to happen? We question a lot of things. There's so much I have learned over the last couple years about when it comes to affirmations and manifesting and those sort of things that I didn't know. I didn't know anything about it. And the crazy thing is, like, why? Why don't so many people know about this amazing thing that's going on? And your belief system, what you choose to believe and what you choose not to believe. Some things can be a part of people's figment of their imagination. If you've ever had a conversation with someone and you just sat there and was like, I'm not it now, I was following you till I felt like you was making some of it up. I've come across a few people like that too, but I could be one of those people myself. I don't know that I, made something up, but I could have. I don't know. Well, I hope not. But anyways, I mean those are the things that, that I identified to when I thought about that particular word when it talks about declinism. So yeah. You can self-sabotage your future because of your expectations. So that's something that I want to work on for myself as well. Okay. So next we have the framing effect. Okay. So the framing effect, you allow yourself to be influenced by context and delivery. So I think when they mean by context and delivery is maybe I'm having a conversation with someone. And I know, again, I identified to it because I may get defensive by the way somebody delivered something to me or how they said it. Or maybe someone said something very nonchalantly and I'm just all offended, all up in awe for what? They might not even realize that they even said it that way, or it wasn't their intention to say it that way, or even to deliver it. But sometimes we have to pull up our adult pants, right? Because I'm saying adult because it's not big girl pants, big girl. This is adult, being an adult. Sometimes you have to put your adult pants on and kind of take the good and the bad, or bite that bullet and just own it. Own that moment. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean something terribly bad. It's owning it and how to transfer that which you've just heard or what was delivered to you in a way that maybe this is something I can fix, maybe this is something I can work on. When you just own it, I just find it more the ability to be able to own it, to me, makes me feel 100 times better than for me to try to rationalize things. Just own it and you figure out where to go from there. Like, yes, this is me. This is me. This is what I said. I did it. Now, whether if it's right or wrong, I think that once you get that feeling of like, I just took it and I own it, it just makes things a whole lot simpler in your decision making, or when you are about to do something, or when you're trying to strategize on how to better the situation or the opportunity that's headed your way. So, but yeah, that's how I identified to that one. And so for the last one, it has here negativity bias. You allow negative things to disproportionately influence your thinking. It is so easy to allow something negative to embed itself in your thought process. And when that happens, everything goes out the window. You can't get your mind off of it. It's constantly there all the time. It's a number of things happen when you allow that negativity. And one of the things that I could say that has been helping me, and I know what does help me throughout my day is, starting my day off with a prayer. I also do meditation. I do the stream Z, just because they make me feel great, throughout the day. And I just feel like at that point I can handle anything. I can, it just makes your day go so much better when you start it off the right way. Whether if it's just getting up, whether if you say a prayer for those that do pray, or you just get in tune spiritually, or get into a place where you can free your mind, free all the negative things that are going on around you. And one of the other things that also helps too is removing yourself from negative situations. Even if you're out and about or you're at work and there might be a group of people talking about somebody, or maybe something happened, you don't have to take part in that. Even if it's not at work, it could be at the gym, or it could be, wherever at a function. There's some things that I realize you do not have to take part in. You don't even have to you don't even have to be a part of it. You could be standing there listening to it, because those things that we listen to, when we listen to negative things, those become embedded. Like, ooh, no, they didn't. Yes, they did. Did you see what happened? That ain't none of my business. We actually had some things that transpired in our city, it's not for me to talk about because I'm not in it. I had nothing to do with it. Why am I involving myself in something I don't have anything to do with? And so I start to realize that, like, I'm sitting up here talking about it, telling everybody else about it. Like, girl, did you hear this? Da, 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 da. And no, why am I talking about this? I could be doing something else with my time. I could be listening to something else that is going to be more productive to me. Instead of me listening to the gossip, why don't I pick up a book and read it? You know what I'm saying? Why don't I pick up or put in a podcast on it, something positive? I don't need this. We have so much around us on a daily basis that's negative. We have to learn to remove ourselves from those situations, or whatever it is that may cause a negative effect in our lives. And that's just kind of where I'm at right now, is removing myself from certain situations or things that have a negative effect on me, because I know it brings me down. On top of the fact that, like I stated before, I'm struggling with menopause. That already you're feeling the negativity from that, because you're just tired all the time. You're exhausted, and that takes you through a physical battle. But also you have a mental battle as well. And that has a lot to do with it too. But you don't need to add more and more things on top of it. And I'm just learning to remove myself. I have to catch myself from time to time, talking about things that I shouldn't be talking about. Why am I talking about this? How is this being productive to me? How is this helping me get to the next level? And those are questions that I ask myself all the time. Like, how is this helping me? How is this making me a better person? And I've listened to a lot of YouTubers, and I follow a lot of great people that I have gotten a lot of great information from, on just being able to focus on me, my self-care, working on this glow up journey. All this is a part of the process, being the best can be that I can be. I see myself going somewhere visually, and I think that as long as you have a vision, and I think that a lot of us could use that. Where do you see yourself in the future? Where do you see yourself going? What do you see yourself doing? And I was listening to something earlier today, and I think it was on Instagram, where this lady was talking about, you take a piece of paper and you write down 10 things on that paper. Then she said, out of the 10 things that you write in this paper, which one of those 10 items, it was like 10 or 12, I think it was 10. Which one of those 10 items that you wrote down stand out to you the most? So the one that stands out to you the most, the biggest one that stands out to you most, she said, flip the paper over, write it down, and then write the plan. You have to write the plan. And so when I saw that, and I was like, I like I need to do that. You know, anything that keeps me focused. I don't care if it's a work journal. I don't care if it's listening to a podcast. I don't care if it's your meditation, but anything that's going to invoke something positive in what you do. Okay, so even though we're constantly around negative things or people constantly talking, that don't mean that you have to stay there. It doesn't mean that you have to listen, because honestly, if you're listening, you partake. You may not physically said anything, but you're still partaking because you're listening. You're sitting there. You're amongst the crowd, the conversation. And as long as I'm in the conversation, I'm amongst it, I have partake in that, which again, it serves me no purpose. So, like I said, I wanted to come on, jump on for a hot second so I could talk about what it is that I'm doing with the self-care journey, and just kind of, you know, get up here and talk for a minute, just tell you what's going on, you know. But outside of that, I'm not going to hold you guys much longer, but I just wanted to jump in, say what I needed to say about my self-care journey. And until next time, be great, do something amazing with yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, pretty.